Choosing a divorce lawyer can be overwhelming. You need someone you can rely on to help you make the best decisions about your divorce and who will be involved from start to finish. Joining me today to give you some tips on how to do this is attorney Joe Berger. Thank you so much for joining me today, Joe.
Thank you for having me, Paula.
So how do you choose an attorney?
It's very difficult to find a good attorney. There are no resources out there that really help people do that, and it's a very important thing. I'll start with what you shouldn't do. You shouldn't go to your cousin Mildred and ask, and they tell you who they heard was a really good lawyer, or who was I heard that they're a shark. You know, sharks bite, so that's often not a good way to pick a lawyer.
So don't go based on what people's experiences were?
No, don't go on, well, I'm not saying don't go on their experiences, I'm saying don't go on what they've heard, the hearsay that they've heard from other people. A good way is somebody that actually had the lawyer work for them. That is a good recommendation, and I would go with that.
How do you find those?
Well, it's not easy. Sometimes you'll know somebody, sometimes you can ask among your friends of who used a lawyer, and that is a good recommendation. I also wouldn't go with the Yellow Pages, who has the best ad in the Yellow Pages, or I wouldn't necessarily go with the lawyer who did your closing. You know, that may not be the right lawyer. So you have to interview a lawyer.
So how do you interview a lawyer?
Well, this is the key thing. Once you find a lawyer through recommendation or whatever way you do find them, you have to interview them. They're looking at you, but you have to look at them. You pick the lawyer as you would pick anybody who's going to do important work in your life, and this is key. When you interview the lawyer, there are some key factors that you have to keep in mind.
When you're interviewing the lawyer, what should you ask them? You should,
first of all, you should see when you're talking to the lawyer, are they attentive? Are they looking at their watch like they have to get on to the next appointment? If so, leave. Do they seem to have experience in the area of law that you're interested in? Do they have a track record? Can they tell you other people that they've gone to and actually, you know, I've had success in this area? But one thing I would ask them is, are you going to bill me monthly on a basis that I can understand? And are you going to keep me informed of everything that goes on? And are you going to answer my phone calls? This is the main problem I have. People call me. I hired a lawyer. I've never heard from the lawyer. You know, I
never got the bill and then got it at the end.
I never got a bill. I never heard from them. I plunked down $5,000 for a retainer, and I don't know where it went, and nothing has happened, and it's 9 months later.
So it's okay to ask your attorney questions. You should ask your attorney questions.
It's essential to ask your attorney questions. This is a team. It's like anything else with a team, that you have to be partners working together for the same goal. And if you don't feel comfortable at that interview, if you don't feel this person's going to work for you, go. Leave, find someone else.
And how about experience? How do you know if they have experience or not?
Well, they can tell you what their experience is, but you know, how many years they've been in practice, how much matrimonial law have they practiced, what courts have they been in the family court, have they been in the Supreme Court? I mean, you know, you can ask them and they will give you that information. And checking up on them, you know, I would ask other people that have used them.
Is it okay to ask them for cases, examples that they have practiced or have
Well, there's confidentiality with an attorney, so they can't give you the names of cases. No, they can't really do that. And that's what makes it hard to choose. It really is going to be your gut feel with that attorney. Are they responsive? Are they listening to you? Are they going to do the job for you?
Most people, or a lot of people, have said that when they go to an attorney, it all sounds great. They make all these promises, but then during the process, it really doesn't turn out to be that way. So what's your advice in that situation?
Well, if you go in to see an attorney and they start making exaggerated promises to you, oh, you know, we'll get 80% of the marital assets, you'll have complete custody and the spouse will never see the children. If they start making exaggerated promises to you, run, because it's not going to happen. The process doesn't work that way. And some attorneys, you know, will tell you what you want to hear. And that's fine.
Which is not always the case.
But that's not, you're going to be disappointed. An approach where they tell you realistically what you can expect, that's the attorney you want to hire.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if you would like more information on how to choose a lawyer for a divorce or have a question for attorney Joe Berger, just log on to my website, parentologywithpaula.com, and send me an email.